you think the #1 fear in America is?
I'm gonna say clowns.
Dying?
Probably like murderers or something.
It's actually.
Oh, wait.
So the #1 fear is actually.
In this video, I'm going to share a shocker. Contrary to what you hear everywhere, public speaking is not the top fear. That's one of the biggest myths. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of people experience some anxiety, like some elevated heart rate when they speak in public. But public speaking is not the #1 fear for most people. This myth that public speaking is the #1 fear gets spread and repeated so much that it's been accepted as fact. Jerry Seinfeld's stand-up comedy routine is a great example of how this myth keeps getting spread and repeated.
I saw a study that said speaking in front of a crowd is considered the #1 fear of the average person. I found that amazing. #2 was death. Death is #2? This means to the average person, if you have to be at a funeral, you would rather be in the casket than doing the eulogy.
There actually hasn't been great data on public speaking anxiety until Chapman University started conducting an annual survey on the top fears in America. That survey has helped us get a much better sense of the top fears for the majority of Americans and to get a sense of how many people have high to severe public speaking anxiety versus people who have lower levels of anxiety. So let's start by looking at the top fear for the majority of Americans. In the survey, they give people this long list of fears and people rank them #1, #2, and so on. Go figure, the top American fear is corrupt government officials.
It's actually corrupt government officials.
Oh, wait.
So the #1 fear is actually corrupt government officials.
Fair, valid.
Yeah, right?
Over 65% of Americans say that they are afraid or very afraid of corrupt government officials. That's been the top fear for the past 9 years. And public speaking is number 59. So it's not even in the top 10. It's interesting that the majority of Americans, 74%, say they're not afraid or they're slightly afraid of public speaking. I think of this group as having some anxiety, like maybe some elevated heart rate when speaking, but the bodily symptoms are very manageable. People in this group may not love public speaking, not all of them, but they don't avoid it, and their mild anxiety doesn't get in the way of their career and life goals. Then there's 29% of Americans that say they're afraid or very afraid of public speaking. If you're in this group, just know that you're not alone. Close to 1/3 of Americans are pretty significantly afraid of public speaking. Their anxiety is getting in the way of their career and life goals. And for the 12% who are very afraid, I think of these individuals as having a phobia of public speaking. How severe your anxiety is makes a big difference in how much it disrupts your life. If you're afraid or very afraid, you might not be able to graduate from school because you're afraid of giving presentations or participating in class discussions. You might not be able to interview for jobs or keep your job or get a promotion. Your anxiety will limit your earning power and your ability to make a good income and may limit the quality of your life. Now, if you're wondering whether your anxiety is low, medium, or high, take the public speaking anxiety test. Check out the link in the description below. And once you get your score, you'll get recommendations to see what you can do. The good news is that if you have high public speaking anxiety, there's something you can do about it. Check out programs and links in the description below that are specifically designed for people with high speaking anxiety. So see you in the next video.